This is Josh Nordic of Mountain Fit here. This is going to be a video on troubleshooting the squat. So there's a ton of problems that can go wrong in the squat. Having really good technique in the squat is really important for a whole variety of reasons. As far as performance, it's going to make you way stronger, have way better balance, way more athletic ability. A huge thing though is just injury prevention. I know it's a huge thing that messes with a lot of people when they're out hiking. Their knees bothering them, their lower back's bothering them, whatever it might be. Getting the squat right is going to eliminate a ton of those problems. So I'm not going to get super in depth with every single one just because it'd take us all day. I'm going to bring Will in. He's just going to start demoing problems. So the first thing we're going to work on is the feet turned out too much. So if you want to demonstrate a feet turned out squat, if you want to face the camera probably better. So you can see his feet here. You can turn around a little bit more. He's real angled out about 45 degrees. You can show him a squat there. The reason why people tend to do this is because their ankles are a little tight. You can see his knees coming inside of his ankle. He's missing a little bit of dorsiflexion. So what we're going to do here is we're going to stand back up straight. It's possible that it's just a problem with proprioception and he's just thinking about it wrong. So if you want to straighten your feet up and hit another squat, and that's the problem with Will. See, Will squats perfectly cleans up, his knees come out plenty fine, he's got that good dorsiflexion. If you had a problem with dorsiflexion, stand up. You can kind of like where your knees can't come forward to try to squat. It looks like he's going to fall backwards on his heels a little bit because his knees won't translate forward over his toes. Then we're going to I'm going to show you a quick corrective exercise for ankle dorsiflexion. So if you want to hop up against the wall here, Will, you're going to start off with his toes about 6 inches from the wall. Right here, toes right there. And now he's going to push this knee towards the wall. So step a little bit closer, 4 inches. And drive the knee towards the wall. And we're going to do about 10 reps per side. You're just going to find where is a good distance for you, and slowly over time, you're going to get more and more range of motion. The big thing here, I'm going to show you straight up, is that the knee doesn't come inside the big toe. We want to kind of track over the second and third toe. So when we come forward, we want to be straight forward. So that's the feet turned out, ankle mobility issue. Next thing we're going to work on is called Valgus Knee. And that just basically means your knees collapsing in. There's a couple issues typically here. The biggest thing is normally just proprioception, as in the brain isn't functioning properly. So with that, I'm going to link you to the Fundamentals of Midline Stability video series, and I'm going to teach you how to kind of screw in your feet and just get the technique right, the brain-body connection. That'll be linked in the show notes here. Another corrective way to do that is to fix that is we're going to use the ball for it. So if you want to hop in, Will, and just demo the knees collapsing. So notice how his knees again are inside of his toes, that's what we don't want. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to pop up, I'm going to put the ball inside, and make him push his knees outside the ball while he's squatting. So you see how the knees are way out there? It's a much better squat. He's not going to have a ton of stress on his ligaments at his knees. And he's got his glutes activated, so it's a perfect squat. The next common problem that causes this valgus knee is a lot of times the glutes are weak. And the glutes are responsible for creating that torque at the hip that allows the knee to kind of get externally rotated and create that stability. So the same thing can happen. It'll look really similar. The knees are going to look like they're cramming in. But in this case, it's because the glutes are too weak. So for that, we're going to demo some sideline clams and some single leg glute bridges. So if you want to demo a single leg glute bridge real quick, Will. So he's got his two thighs parallel here. His lower back's flat against the ground. And he's going to squeeze his glutes and come up. Back down. And really focus on your pelvic floor as well. So the muscle you squeeze to prevent yourself from peeing. Squeeze that and slowly come up. Good. And you can just do a couple sets of about 10 reps on each side here. And we're going to do some sideline clams as well. So what we're doing here is we're going to imagine we have this dowel coming straight to his hip. And he's not going to move at the hip at all. And he's going to do some external rotation, so he's going to bring his knee up to my hand. Good. And you can see his hand here. He's already done it right. He's finding this little muscle. It's called your glute medius, and he's focusing on activating that and having all that range of motion come from there, all that strength. So what we're doing here is just correcting a muscular weakness that's leading to the valgus knee collapse. Same thing, you can do about 2 sets of 10 reps per side there. Should strengthen you up over time. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to band his knees together. So now when he's doing his squats, he's going to throw his band around his knees. And this is going to force him to activate that same muscle. And he's going to force his knees out. The band's going to try to pull them together, and he has to resist it. And you can do a couple sets of 10 reps there. And that should correct for that issue. Another problem we commonly see is lumbar hyperextension. So lumbar spine is your lower back. This means he's just extending it too far. So you want to hop in and demo that real quick, Will? So you see right here, you're going to go a little bit higher. He's kind of starting to get a big arch in his lower back. So we're going to stand up again. And what he's going to do here is really focus. This is commonly a technique problem. So it just means a lot of times people teach you to keep your chest up when you're squatting like that. You have that big lumbar extension coming down. And a lot of people think that's proper form. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to link you to that Fundamentals of Midline Stability video series where I'm going to teach you how to create core stability. So this is typically either a problem with understanding what the proper form is and having a weak core. And if the core is the problem, we're going to address it through some core strengthening programs. We're not necessarily going to do 1 or 2 corrective exercises there. The next one is lumbar flexion at the bottom. This can be kind of hard to get to. I think Will's going to be able to get it though. This is kind of just called Buttwink at the bottom, which commonly happens. Yep. So you see what's happening here is he's dipping down. This is typical combination. Sometimes his hamstrings are really tight, and sometimes the pelvic floor is a little weak. So if you want to come up again, Will, we're just going to demonstrate a couple hamstring stretches and some dead bugs to strengthen the pelvic floor. So we'll start with the dead bug. So this is going to be a breathing exercise, integrating the pelvic floor into his and his core strength into his movement pattern. So he's going to breathe in as he reaches the heel out to the ground, in through the nose, and then out through the mouth as he comes up. Now switch sides and do it again. In and out. The big thing we're focusing on here is making sure he maintains his lower back flat against the ground. We don't want to have a big arch there. So you do one more rep on each side real quick. You can hear his deep breath. Cool, great. Now we're going to fall into a hamstring stretch. So let's do the supine hamstring stretch. And we'll hold for about 30 seconds. The combination of these two things should clear up the bottom of your squat a little bit. And yeah, we're just going to focus on, I'm going to link you to the fundamentals of midline stability here as well, just because that's going to help you learn the technique a little bit better as well. One more common issue, and that's going to be cervical hyperextension. So it's going to be when we're going to be arching the upper spine a lot. The cervical spine is the top of the spine. This is a really common problem. We don't really need to really demo. I can demo it real quick. It's going to look like this. And that kind of comes with the lumbar hyperextension as well. They normally come together. So all we're going to do is just focus on packing our chin into like a devil chin and doing the squat there. So a good idea is instead of trying to look up, find a spot maybe 10 feet in front of you and look there. And you can kind of look up as you stand up. So that's the video on troubleshooting the squat. It's going to prevent you from having a lot of injuries, keep you pain-free on the mountain, and make you way stronger, way more athletic. Thanks for watching.